Hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling your radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ, and Bubble Boy in the studio with me. How are you?
Good, man. What's happening?
Well, you know what? We were talking about this quite a bit last week. I'm working on an adventure to run over to the Galapagos. And
Yeah, that's it. Rub
last
it in.
week,
Rub it in.
Well, we were talking a lot about cold water diving last week. We were talking about diving the ice hole.
The what?
The ice hole. You heard me.
Gotcha.
And they were doing that in Iowa. I'm not going to do any ice diving, but if I go to the Galapagos, it's going to be potentially in the low 60s, which is way, way too cold for a warm water wuss like myself. And so this week, I've been taking it a step further, trying to decide, which way to go. Am I going to go dry suit or heated rash guard? We talked about both of these options last week on the show. Actually, by the end of the show last week, I think I was convinced, or I convinced myself that, hey, I'll just do the heated rash guard thing. You're shaking your head no. Why, Cock Johnson?
You're not going to be warm enough.
Well, I don't know if that's the case or not, but
I thought you were going to do a dry suit.
Well, by the end of the show last week, I was like, well, maybe just getting a heated rash guard will do the trick, and I don't need to go the full Monty with the dry suit thing. That's kind of how I felt by the end of the show. I mean, Vinny Two Tanks, he has a heated rash guard. He mentioned it, and I started thinking about it more. I was like, God, a dry suit is going to be more equipment I got to carry with me to the Galapagos, and maybe it's more hassle than it's worth. But then I started thinking about it more and more, and then I went back to, I think I want to go get a dry suit because.
Good idea.
But who knows? I could bounce back. I could bounce back to the other side again. Vinny Two Tanks, he's with us as part of the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad, as well as Jerry the Diver Guy. So we'll get their thoughts on it. The Aqua Gypsy is rumored to be joining us in studio.
She's late.
What do you mean she's late?
Show's already started.
Well, that's true, but she's never been in the studio with us before. I thought you meant something else. So she's talking about what's that, Bubble Boy?
I thought he meant something else.
Oh, jeez. Okay, but anyway, so I think she has some experience with cold water diving. I don't know if I don't think she. Well, I do think she has a dry suit already. So I'm still kind of going back and forth on this. I looked at some dry suits this week, tried to get an idea of what's out there as far as options and things like that. And I think I've learned a thing or two. I will say that much. The advancements in dry suits have gotten pretty intense. And one of the big issues was P-valve or no P-valve. And we kind of mentioned this last week, but I think I want one. I think I think
you need one.
Well, I think having it there is an option. What I learned is that if you get a dry suit and you don't get one, like right out of the box, it's very difficult.
Is it a one-way valve where
it better be
cold water can't get in?
Yeah, I'm wearing one right now.
Well, right, exactly.
Or you could just wear a diaper.
Well, actually, you make a joke, but that's actually a thing, CJ.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's just like spacemen,
it is.
right? Like the
It is a
astronauts.
thing.
Not for me.
Some of the hardcore dry suit folks wear diapers. That is,
That's
just
not,
dive in your Depends, and if you find yourself in a,
I would
on
keep
a
that to
long
yourself.
dive, well, I don't think you would share the contents of your diaper after a dive. You'd
Yeah,
probably
Greg,
keep
remember,
that to yourself, I'm sure, but
remember
it is a thing.
The dive god Neil Watson mentioned that story about his friend that was the diver for the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
And, he probably should have had a diaper in that thing.
Well, look, back in the day, they didn't have as many options.
They didn't have valves.
I don't know if they had valves or what, but they just probably All right, I'm done for the day. Who's taking over the creature of the Black Lagoon costume after me? Nope. No hands went up. But things have improved over the years. And but the one thing I did learn though, if you're going to do this, and you think there might be a chance you will want one of these valves, you should get it right out of the box that way. You shouldn't try to put it on after, like an aftermarket
A used
appendage.
one?
What?
A used one?
No, not a used one. That's disgusting. No, just like making modifications to a dry suit after can be much more involved than just having it out of the box.
Is Vinny talking? I look like he's talking, but I don't hear him.
Well, he's with us.
He looked like he
sipping on
was
You can't hear
talking.
me?
Yeah, of course.
I can
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Look like
I
you
was
were
just
talking
saying
a
it's better to
second
have
ago.
the factory do something like that. You're right. I agree with you.
Did you say urine right? No. But no, it is that is the thing
it's
I
better.
did learn. And that is just because, you have the manufacturer install it because you don't want any, failing going on in that part of the dry suit for real. That would be serious problems.
Get frostbite.
No leaking.
No leaking. Yeah, I would think that would, that'd be an area you definitely wouldn't want to have the first place, go cold if you had a leak. You know what I mean?
Shrinkage.
Right. And then it's just, it's just downhill from there. So anyway, yeah, do one with a P valve and then, do something that looks cool. They got some that look pretty, almost like Star Trek-ish uniforms now.
I thought you said
Yeah.
cool.
Well, okay.
Nerdy.
No,
Nerdy cool.
they look kind of techy. I will tell you, as far as fashion dry suits, I am very impressed with the Fourth Element. I think it's called the Aquanaut or something. Argonaut 3.0.
They make a good suit.
Do you have one there, Jerry, the
No.
diver guy? Well, then how do you
but
know?
I know a few people that's got them.
Okay. So what do they like about them? I think they just kind of look cool.
They just like the fit.
Yeah, they fit well.
And they do really well with them. So
They got some pretty cool colors. You can accessorize to a certain extent because it's always, look, you're going to get a new dry suit, might as well look good too, right?
Accessorize.
Duh.
What color would you get?
There's this one they call it. It's some kind of shade of blue. It's kind of like a grayish blue color. As they debuted it, I believe, at the DEMA show.
Hypoxia.
Hypoxia.
Cyanatic.
No. It's kind of a grayish blue color, but it's kind of, I don't know. It's a unique blue. And
To match the color of your lips as you're freezing your off.
maybe.
Boys
I don't know, but I mean it looks kind of nice. But you can go. I think DUI, Diving Unlimited International. They do a bunch of dry suits. They actually had some customized type of things, like you get an American flag put on the top part of the dry suit.
Yep.
And you can kind of spruce it up just a tad. But anyway, so there's a lot of options there, but they've gotten lighter, more easy to pack and travel with, and that's the big key.
I don't want to tell you
for me.
how to run your show, but I would put ScubaRadio on it.
Oh my gosh, why didn't we think of that?
We did. I did.
Oh, you did. Oh, see, that's what Cock Johnson is here for. Thank God for CJ. Yeah, actually, he's going to make a contribution to the show in a way that every diver can benefit from. And we'll talk about that next. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo with a buddy or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Does diving in the Florida Keys for free sound too good to be true? It's not. Dive to make a difference and clean our seas in the second annual Trash Derby Dives, May 2nd through 5th. Sponsored by iCare and the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation. Win big prizes for bringing up the most trash. Free spots with dive operators from Key Largo to Key West are available now. Get details and sign up at iCareTrashDerby.com. Brought to you by the Monroe County Tourist Development Council.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hi, this is Neil Watson, the Dive God.
And I'm Peter Hughes.
These guys come from legend. They're basically gods.
We've been around the block a time or two with the diving industry.
But I've never heard something as nutty as this.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
God's friggin' gift to humanity.
Now here's a guy I've been putting up with for over 20 years.
Greg, the Dive Master.
You can tell the master I'm done for the day.
Now beat it, loser.
And by the way, Greg, it's Peter Huge.
Whoa.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. We may be checking in with the Dive God here a little bit later on the big show. So we'll get a first-hand report. Hopefully.
He's still taking your calls.
Well.
He hasn't learned.
I'm going to call from a number he doesn't recognize. So hopefully
he's
will
a kind
pick up.
and generous dive.
Yes, he is indeed. He's a warm water wuss diver, though. He abides by the 80-80-80 rule. 80 air temp minimum.
He could do it. He just chooses
80
not to.
foot of visibility and 80 degree or warmer water temp. Now, that is not what we're talking about doing potentially in the Galapagos.
Right.
It can vary wildly. You know, when I did that trip, I'd say it's probably 15 years since I was there in the Galapagos. It varied wildly from, it got as warm as like 74 maybe. On a couple of the dives.
Air temp or water temp?
Water.
Okay.
And that's like diving the Florida Springs.
Still chilly.
But then, most of the dives were in the 60s, and then I think it went down as low as I think the coldest dive was like 62.
Ooh.
And that was a bit much for
in
a
a
warm
wetsuit?
water wuss. Yeah, 5 mil.
Proud of you.
5 mil, doubled up with some extra layers, underneath. And I froze my ass off.
Didn't you say the current was pretty bad, too, when you were there?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are currents all over the Galapagos. So, I mean, it's not bad. I was talking to someone this week about that as well, as far as the skill level for diving in the Galapagos. I've said this many times before. This is not beginner diver territory. You got to be comfortable in the water to dive the Galapagos. That doesn't mean that you got to be a dive instructor or even a dive master. You don't. You just got to be comfortable in the water and keep your wits about you, because this is what they do is they give each diver a personal locator beacon, like an electric, EPIRB, like an electronic locating device. They clip it onto your BC, so you have this, so they can locate you, topside.
Oh, Vinny's got one.
Oh, he's got one of those Nautilus
Correct.
lifelines. Yeah,
That's what they give you, probably.
It's similar. I don't think it's one of those in particular. That's a different animal, because that has a VHF radio.
Vinny,
built
that's a
into
life
it.
alert.
No,
it
that's
isn't.
I have the later
That is-
models. The later models don't have the radio. I wish I would have bought the first generation. They have
Yeah.
the radio, but this one doesn't.
Well, okay, so that just has the locator
Just a
device.
GPS locator, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But it's a similar thing, but it's set up for the boat, so the boat can find you very
Only
easily.
your boat here is when mine goes off.
The
every boat in
world is
area will-
alerted. Vinny Two
Yeah.
Tanks needs help.
Yeah, I
And
can
it-
adjust it to just the boat, but then again, it's all those
Yeah.
technical manuals and stuff. I
How
can't
many
figure it
times has it went off in your home there, Vinny? When you just set it
Hasn't
off
gone.
accidentally.
I have no battery in it right now.
Fall asleep in the bathtub.
The police come to his knock on the door, and he answers, and the first thing, why aren't you wearing any pants?
Yeah, that too.
That's
Your
a whole
life
nother
is
story.
over.
But
Vinny,
the
no
thing is, they give you these locator devices because the currents are tricky. Now that doesn't mean it's difficult to dive. It's like, it's no different than diving off of West Palm Beach, which was kind of our local stomping ground when CJ, Bubble Boy, and myself started diving in Orlando. West Palm Beach is kind of the one go-to sites, and all the dive sites there are pretty much drift dives through the Gulf Stream. And so you jump in, and the boat follows the flag, and there's a leader with a flag, and you don't lose the person with the flag and just drift along. You don't even have to kick. It's actually very easy diving. Now, if you get,
lazy man diving.
It's not lazy man diving. It's just it
Yeah,
can be very
such as-
easy, but you could get very spooked because you have very little control on where you're going to go, because you cannot fight the current.
Grab that
Set your
rock.
buoyancy and let her roll.
Well, that's pretty much the case. Exactly. And it's very similar in the Galapagos. Now, the only difference is sometimes the currents can be a little challenging in that they don't just go lateral. They go up and down. Or, they don't just go horizontally, I should say. They go up and down. So if you get in a down current, that could be a little unnerving. And so you've got to have your wits about you. If you're getting in a down current, you just kind of have to, swim and get out of that down current as soon as you can. But chances are you're going to be following the dive guide. And as long as you don't lose the dive guide or don't pay attention to the dive guide, Jerry, the diver guy, yeah, you
don't bring me into this.
Oh yes, I will. I'll never let that go. But if you, as long as you do that, you'll be fine. He's going to keep the group out of any potential down currents. But if you get caught in that, there's techniques you have learned as an experienced diver to avoid it or how to get out of it. And the key to that, when those things happen, is that you cannot panic. You can't freak out, and that goes to your experience level, your comfort in the water, because when it happens the first time to you and you're not expecting it can be a little unnerving, and it could lead someone to freak out, do something, dangerous, and could just, cause a domino effect of mistakes and get you into trouble. So, advanced certification, probably the minimum of what you would need for diving in the area like the Galapagos.
I
but
can't
it's
believe you still
easy.
bring that up, Greg, and I brought you lunch.
What do you mean? What do you didn't
And
bring me
dinner.
in a lunch? You're not even
I
in
brought
the
you
same
lobsters.
state as me.
I brought you lobsters.
You brought me lobsters.
We had our own lobsters.
What have you done for me lately, Jerry the diver guy?
Grace you with my presence.
Okay, well, you've done that.
Okay, there's a check.
And I'll
in the
curse you
negative.
for the rest of your
What
life.
about in the positive column?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Everybody can do it as long as you have some experience. It's not strenuous. You don't have to be like a super diver. No, don't get me wrong. You should brag to your heart's content. Just the fact that you are a certified scuba diver to your non-diving friends, that is one of the many benefits of being a diver. And feel free to enhance it any way you see fit, because it is kind of a superpower. Would you not agree there, CJ?
Danger is my business.
Right. Cock Johnson is his name.
Diving's my game.
Right. And the same for Bubble Boy, same for Vinny Two Tanks. What do you think, Vinny? Yeah.
How about a tip of the day? I got a Scuba Radio tip of the day. How about that?
Okay,
Oh.
You really do you?
Yes, I finally got because I like all you guys.
All right, we have no time for this, but we'll think about it during the break. Come back and share it with the rest of the world next. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
If you want to be a member of the Scuba Squad, you have to be smart.
I could be in the Scuba Squad?
Well, sure. All you have to do is work hard. And don't tell a soul about the Scuba Squad, because then everybody's going to want to join.
I woke up this morning with a big old smile. And I've been thinking it might stay with me a while. Today is all about the things I love to do. One of them is spending time down in the blue. Gonna pack up all our scuba gear, find a spot where the water's clear. Call up all my diving friends. Plan is getting wet, let's see who's in. Man, it feels so good to be alive. I just wanna die. I just wanna die.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. That is the Scuba Cowboy, thescubacowboy.com. Check him out, buy his music, and you might see him popping up at a dive show near you or at a local watering hole because he's a scuba diver. He likes to be performed near water. Makes sense. Would you not agree?
Yes, Craig.
Okay, thank you, CJ. CJ Cock Johnson in the studio, Bubble Boy also, and then connected via the web, Jerry the Diver Guy, and Vinny Two Tanks, which has a tip that he's ready to share with the world. And I assume it has to do with managing currents or cold water or dry. Okay, currents. And what is your tip there, Vinny?
What I do is I read a lot of, like out of dive training and Scuba Magazine, I read all the accident articles and what you should do and would not do. And normally when you have a down current, you're normally near a high wall or you're in a steep canyon, and the currents go horizontal, but then when they go over the top of that wall, they'll push down.
Right.
And they've had instances where people filled their BC full and they still couldn't get, they keep trying to swim
go up.
and they can't make any progress.
Yeah.
So the trick is you swim laterally away from that structure.
Exactly.
Then you'll get out of that the effect of that suction down effect. You'll get out of it, and then you can go up.
Finally, some useful information.
That might save somebody's life someday.
Well, it might.
Thank you, Vinny.
And that actually applies to swimming.
Rip currents.
Rip currents. Basically, if you get caught in
it's
a
like
current,
a rip current. Get out of a rip current, right?
Yeah, you got to swim. What is it? Not parallel, but
parallel to the beach.
Parallel to the beach.
90 degrees.
Perpendicular to the current.
Parallel, perpendicular, right?
Yeah, so like just swim, perpendicular.
You'll eventually get out of it.
To the current.
Right.
You will get out of it, whether
Doesn't
it's
matter,
a down
either
current
way.
or whatever.
So same thing with a down current underwater. If you get up, you swim away from it.
Right. But don't try to fight it. And that's where people get into trouble. They fight it, and they freak out, they panic, and then that leads to more
Just let
trouble.
the violent current carry you away.
The key is to stay calm and just dive. If you stay calm, and even when you're dealing with a problematic situation, that's what you learn when you become a diver. You learn how to deal and have a plan if things go south on you. Okay, this is what we learned. If I do this, I got to swim, perpendicular to the current. I got to do this if this happens, that kind of thing. That's kind of what learning how to dive is. And, staying calm is probably the main reason why we learn all these skills, because if you're staying calm, you can calmly deal with the problem that is in front of you. And then you work through it. Now, people use different techniques to stay calm, right?
Right.
And CJ, a.k.a. Cock Johnson, he's not just a world-renowned radio show host and the funny guy on ScubaRadio, according to Vinny Two Tanks. He actually is a voiceover talent. And as you can tell, when he speaks, he's very calm.
I don't make any money off this gig.
Right. But when it comes to medication,
beg your pardon?
He's an expert in that, in a different category of things, recreationally.
This ain't water.
Right. But meditation-wise, one of your gigs is you do, meditation tapes.
Sometimes I get hired to read guided meditations.
Right. So CJ and I had a little conference this week, and I said, hey, we need to use those skills and teach our divers how to remain calm. And he produced a couple of examples that you can apply to your diving life. Let's give one a go. Here we go.
All Scuba Radio listeners within the sound of my voice, relax, get comfortable, and take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel your mind and body at peace. Some of you may have had an issue while diving. Today we're going to overcome evacuation anxiety, the inability to relieve yourself in your wetsuit during a dive. For men, we call it uptight wean. Ladies, just don't. That's gross. Focus your mind's eye on a gentle babbling brook, a clear rushing mountain stream, or a fire hydrant unleashing a powerful torrent of thousands and thousands of gallons per minute. Enough water to fill the Grand Canyon and take the paint on your grandma's El Camino right down to bare sheet metal. Do you see it? Good. Now smell it. Wait, no, don't smell it. Now succumb to the sweet release of emptying your bladder. Feeling the warm, golden flow of satisfying relief. There, now you should feel empty and relaxed. You may open your eyes and clean up the mess. I should have mentioned not to sit on the couch. If you did, I hope it's at the very least Scotch guarded. And be sure to fully rinse your wetsuit after every dive. Thanks.
Okay. I'll tell you what, that was quite the presentation. It's almost hypnotic.
Yeah,
CJ.
I mean, I'm relaxed.
Hey, maybe a little too relaxed. Check your seats.
It helps
both
with
of you.
uptight wean.
Are
I
these
think that
chairs in the
really
studio?
controls your fear.
Yeah,
That's a great,
it controls
that's what
that
you
in your
gotta do.
bladder. Yeah.
I call it
Hell, I
controlling
just
your
peed
fear.
myself.
Yeah, well, that's what I was
We all
afraid
did a
of.
little.
Yeah. So you're a little too good at that, CJ.
Thank you.
And I mean, yeah, I guess we should have prefaced playing that, hey, if you get hypnotized and
don't listen to this while driving,
wet yourself, don't call us for, any issues with stains on your upholstery.
Right.
We're
I
not
should have
responsible.
mentioned that in the beginning.
Yeah. We have a disclaimer on this show. The views expressed and opinions shared are those of not any sane human being. But yeah, that's good. That's very, you do got to stay calm and stuff like that. So there was a nugget of knowledge in there. I mean, it obviously helped Vinny Two Tanks. I guess you could apply that to travel bowel as well. Have you ever considered that being an issue?
Just breathe and relax.
Travel what? Travel bell?
He cracked himself up.
Yeah. No, well, I'm looking at Vinny on the video, and I can just see this look on his face like, what? No, travel bowel.
Oh, got it.
When you're a little too uptight and you're having some issues there. It's a thing I hear. I don't know. You don't have that issue though, Benny. Is that the case?
I'm a man. I have the same issues that you guys all have.
Well, I didn't say I had any of those issues. I'm just.
Well, we all know the biggest scuba diving lie there is.
Those who
I don't pee in my wetsuit. That's
and those who lie about it. It's you're one or the other, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I don't know if we, advanced the diving knowledge of our listeners today, but we made an attempt.
Right.
And next, we're going to try it again. This time, I think we should take it a step further.
Okay.
Maybe take that hypnotic delivery that you have there, Cock Johnson, to another level. That's next. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Welcome back. The votes are in. The second singer of Group A to get unmasked is... Who is it?
This is really tough. No, it doesn't get easier.
The Diver.
Poor Diver! Diver's so sad! I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, me neither. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. All right, so we're, CJ, a.k.a. Cock Johnson, also does voiceover work for, like meditation, can kind of keep you calm. And we just played this little meditation tape that it might help you focus. And but it's almost hypnotic how he does this stuff. He does it so well. I was like, okay, after you did that, why don't we do one where we can actually, capitalize on this approach and put it to good use. So let's give this one a go.
Hello again, Scuba Radio friends. All within the sound of my voice. Relax and breathe deeply. Inhale, exhale. Do the hokey pokey and shake it all about. I'm kidding. You want to feel good. To feel good, you have to look good. And to look good, you need to have the latest and best Scuba Radio attire. After this meditation, I want you all to go to ScubaRadio.com, click on the Buy SR Stuff tab, and order one of every style hat and shirt. Pick up some rash guards, tank tops, tote bag, smartphone case, hoodie, coffee mug, all that crap. Now, remember when your boss at your sucky corporate job keeps talking to you all this BS that you're a team this and team that? Well, To truly be a team, you must have a uniform. So go back to the ScubaRadio.com website and order 2 shirts and 2 hats for every member of your local office. After all, you gotta have a backup in case you clumsily spill ketchup on your shirt at the company picnic trying to choke down a cheap undercooked hot dog. I have to go retch in the toilet now. Oh! All right, wake up, stretch, and go to ScubaRadio.com. Oh, and have your credit card ready. Thanks.
All right. I think that's just taking a skill that you have there, CJ, and taking it to another level.
I hope it doesn't blow up your server because a lot of people are going to be buying stuff.
You think? Okay. Well, I hope you're right because
You're going to sell out. So
every dollar that people spend buying our crap goes to the Greg the Dive Master Retirement Fund.
As it should.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all praying.
So the more crap you buy, the sooner
better.
it'll happen.
Yeah, please.
Right. So, and what happens when I go away? Well, maybe people like the Aqua Gypsy step up and take over. She actually is joining us in the studio right now.
I let her in. I hope that's okay.
No, it's not, but it's too late now. So how you doing, Brittany?
Good. I was beating on the door.
Oh, well, I bet you were.
No, I wasn't.
So finally I let her out.
There it is. Yes. But, yeah, it's nice to have you in the studio, Brittany. Welcome.
I know. Thank you. This is amazing.
Do you like this, or because if you are, you're easily amused, but that's fine.
It's so cool. You have so much stuff here.
We got a lot of crap.
You do.
We're trying to sell it off, but people just won't buy it enough. But maybe after that.
Stuff like this keyboard that's in my way and no one ever uses.
It's called aesthetics.
What?
CJ, you heard me.
Aesthetics.
That's what I said. Aesthetics.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, the Aqua Gypsy is in the studio, and it's been a while since we've had her on the air, but first time she's been in the studio face to face, so it is good to have you. Does it feel different
Thank
for
you.
you?
It does. It actually feels like this is a radio show.
Well,
holy crap!
What are the odds?
Usually we see her zoomed in up on that screen
Exactly.
on the boat somewhere.
Yeah.
Like Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny drinking moonshine out of a mason jar. Yeah, wait a minute. What is going on there, Vinny? That's usually Jerry's gig.
Well, I have but I'm not drinking. I'm drinking soju.
Right, exactly.
Pickle juice.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Soju?
AKA the Korean vodka. It's rice wine.
Oh,
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Well, it's one of the. I really love it. It's only 20%, so you can sip on it, and it allows you to adjust the amount of percentage that you like to have in your system.
Aha.
So I can dial in that.
Okay.
So I can dial in that glow.
It's 20% drinkable.
So is it straight or rice
He's
wine?
drinking
or
it
do you
out
mix
of
it
a
with
mason
something?
jar like moonshine.
They make it out of rice. Obviously, it's right. They make it out of rice. Every Asian country has rice wine.
But do you drink it straight?
He is drinking it straight.
I sip it straight because
he's sipping it like a fine Southern gentleman.
It's very smooth. Well, it's relatively smooth.
Oh, golly.
Sake vodka.
Yes. We're not diving, so we might as well be drinking or having liquid
One
nearby.
of these days, the next time you'll go into a restaurant or a bar, you might see a sign that says soju cocktails, and now you guys will know what they are.
All right.
Because we were schooled by Vinny.
We saw Vinny drinking this crap.
get a
We
little
know we're not
whirly
going to
that
touch
way.
it.
Yeah.
Look what happened to him.
Something about 20%. I don't know.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, that's probably what Jerry the Diver guy's liquid libation is. 20%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's 20%.
No, I don't think so. I've tried his stuff.
It's 20%
way
water,
up.
80% booze. Maybe. I don't know.
That stuff is
It's
about
about 90%. Probably 80, instead of 20.
Yeah. All right. Well, is that what you guys use to calm down? You can't just meditate and listen to Cock Johnson's voice and, mellow out? Or what do you think there, Vinny? Yeah.
Well, since it's kind of nice to have a little relaxation while I see all my scuba radio.
Well, do you
friends
ever need
and neighbors.
inspiration to stay calm underwater? Like thinking of Alone in the Forest, Naked or something that kind of lets you center yourself and getting
Greg
and with one.
Come
with
on,
the
man! Don't put that
ocean.
picture in my head.
No, what I really like about diving is once you go diving, you go down to 80 to 100 feet.
Yeah.
And then you think, hey, I got to be able to control my fear. Or I got to get back to the surface. So that's what I like about diving. There's always that element of
I might die.
Yes, well, I didn't say it that way, but
well, all right. Well, to each his own. That's how Vinny looks at it. And I want to Jerry the diver guy. What about you? Do you ever need inspiration to calm down when you're diving?
Nope, I'm always calm.
You think?
Yep.
I don't know if that's accurate.
Unless I'm following you, Greg.
Well, okay. I mean, what it is. So what do you have to refocus on to kind of center yourself? Hilarious. Okay. I don't know. CJ, I mean, you're the voice of meditation. So I guess what do you just start talking to yourself in your head? When
I'm calm as soon as I get submerged.
Yeah. That's all it takes. What about you, Brittany? Do you have to do anything to get calm for a dive?
Not particularly anymore.
Yeah.
But back, when I first started diving, yeah, I did.
Like what? What did you picture yourself in with a babbling brook in a woods or something, or like a gypsy wearing flowers in your hair?
I kind of talk myself out of it, but now every time I get in the water, it feels like I'm going home. Feels like I just went home.
There
feels like
you
a
go.
warm hug.
That's a pretty good example.
And the babbling brook thing is only so you can relax and pee.
Oh, that's it.
That
That's
doesn't
right.
apply to everything.
The water rushing, that kind of goes back to your, and if you have CJ, talking to you, to help you relax, just let it go. Is that how it was?
Yeah.
Give us a little bit.
Let it go.
Let it go.
That's like a warm hug, too.
Yeah, well, it can be if the diver is swimming, your buddy is right behind you. On that disturbing note, we're going to wrap up hour one. Hour two is on deck. Stay close as we keep going with the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
All of Scuba Radio on the boat or down below if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go!
Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to hour two of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ is in the studio with me. Bubble Boy here too. And also, we got a special guest, Aqua Gypsy. Brittany in the studio, first time ever. She's admiring
Probably
all
the last time as well.
Yeah, well, probably the knickknacks here that we have, all the awards.
They're kind of dusty.
That are you admiring my my accolades that I've received over the years? Is that what you're looking at, or what are you looking at there, Brittany?
Yeah, we have the Platinum Pro Diver Award.
Yeah, Platinum 5000. Hello.
Ooh. Greg, I've dove with you before.
Yeah.
I don't know if you really have dove 5,000 times.
Well, actually, it's for that award, if you have over 2,500 dives and you're in the media or you've made a contribution to the dive industry, you are invited to join that group, and that's what
So
happens.
when does the contribution start?
Yeah. Somebody has to, sponsor you for that award. And I was going to sponsor you today, officially.
Yeah, right.
CJ. Not now.
Sure you
After
were.
that little smart-ass comment.
That's all it took.
I'm done. I'm sorry. You can just dream on, my
Good,
friend.
because I have so many awards at home in my studio, I don't have any more room for.
Really? Okay. Well, anyway,
what's annoying is I got to dust them all the time.
Yeah.
It's really exhausting.
Right. Okay. You keep telling yourself that. That's
There's
fine.
also this pile of poop here that's sitting in front of me.
Hey,
Well,
that's Bubble Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't talk about your potential dive buddy like that.
I know. I mean, no, I
Brittany.
wasn't. Yeah, it's just there's that.
Oh, you
there's-
mean that?
Yeah, that. There's a
It's a turd.
General Mills Frankenberry.
We'll sign you this autograph. We'll autograph that for you.
Yeah,
Brittany.
Barry's not even here.
Yeah.
And that's a gift that Barry sent us.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, because it's Frankenberry. Get it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
What you're holding in your
cereal?
hand, there was a show, The Cruise, on Netflix, and we were
Yeah.
on the show a lot.
Scuba Radio Breakfast Bunch.
Eating.
How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuffing our
So
pie
are
holes.
you
She looks
impressed?
so impressed.
I'm certainly.
She's
among the
overwhelmed.
elite,
Look at
obviously.
her. I mean, look at her. You can see her on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. Nice upgrade to the typical video stimulus you get on Scuba Radio, or anti-stimulus. Is that what it is?
Stimulation, you mean?
Okay.
Stimulus is monetary, isn't it?
Well, no, it'd be a visual stimuli. Multiple.
According to who?
Well, you don't think she's an upgrade?
No, she is. I'm talking about what you
Well,
said
that's what I said. She's a major upgrade to the typical visual stimuli that we provide here on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. Okay.
Oh.
Not her. You.
The poop has spoken.
And spoken.
Yes.
heard
Anyway, let's get back on track here.
Vinny?
Brittany's diving. She's going diving
Going diving.
in the Bahamas. How soon? What, a couple weeks, or when are you going?
Yeah, March 8th to the 11th.
Okay. And where are you going? And what's the plan?
We are going to Stewart Coves, and hopefully we're going to dive as much as we can. So
Yeah.
it's going to be exciting.
Right. What do you think the weather's like these days over there? It's kind of 50-50 right now, isn't it? We're coming out of the windy season in
Yeah,
the
I hope it's
Caribbean.
better than it is here.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason why. I mean, we're going there because we've never been, number one, and number two.
You've never been to the Bahamas?
I've never been to
What?
Nassau, yeah.
Oh, well, okay, Nassau. So you've been to Bimini. You've done all
Yeah,
that
I've
stuff.
been to-
You went
Yeah,
to
she
Bimini
was
with
at
us,
Bimini with
right?
us, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been to Bimini a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I've been to
Do you already know about the dive sites there in Nassau?
Chubb. Yeah.
Which are what?
I'm just looking
I'm gonna
forward to
quiz
go
you.
shark diving. That's all I'm looking
Oh,
for.
you
And
want
some
to go
walls.
do the Stewart Cove, do a shark dive with them? Huh?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, with that, and you know what they have over there, which is a pretty popular dive site, is the Bond wrecks. The
yes.
James Bond wrecks.
Yeah.
From back in the day,
Dr. No.
before you were even born, probably.
I know about Bond.
Well, yeah,
Dr.
of course you know
No.
about Bond, but you know about the wrecks
Mhm.
from the movies and stuff. Well, that's where they filmed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that should be fun.
I've done it. I did it years ago. It was an awesome dive, and I'm sure it's just as good, if not better, now.
You should come back and go with us.
I would, but I have some plans. We already discussed this.
Got to wash his hair.
Yeah, but CJ could go.
CJ could go.
You don't have to wash your hair.
No, I really don't.
You don't have any.
Bubble
So-
Boy could go.
I'd go.
He
Right.
could go.
Yeah.
So what? Okay.
There we go.
You guys, you have extra buddies.
Steven.
I want to do. I've never been to Stewart Coves. I want to do the shark.
See, he's never been either. Greg, what kind of dive master friend are you?
One that looks out for himself.
Thank you.
Obviously.
A lot of
He's
dive
like,
buddies.
I'm checking this plane over there. We're like, oh, really? Can we jump on? Nope, there's no space.
No, wait. You forget. When I do stuff like that, no, I call them up and I say, suck it, losers, as you're supposed to do when you have friends that cannot come with you.
That aren't invited.
Like when you go to the Bahamas, are you not going to call your friends back home stateside and rub it in? Rub their noses in it?
I mean,
no, because she's cool.
What's the it that I'm rubbing their nose in?
Yeah, that poop emoji thing sitting in front of you. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It just goes with the territory.
Yeah.
Those are only small people like you, Greg.
Yeah, because I want my friends to go with me next time.
Well, right. But if they make up some excuse that they can't.
People like you that do that and rub it in to make themselves feel better.
Well, yeah, it's what you do and it's what you should do.
You're
now, when you go
man.
to some cool destination and when you're diving and I'm not there with you, you should call me up or text me or email me and say, suck it, loser.
But that's rare. I don't know.
I know. It never happens because I'm way better than you.
You weren't there.
I'm going to do it when I'm in Nassau this time.
Okay.
Call up
text
Greg. Go, hey.
That's
suck
fine.
it, loser.
I expect this. I mean, it goes with the territory. And will I be jelly? Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't be?
And you can text me now because I've unblocked you.
Yes. CJ had me blocked.
Yeah, what was that all about?
I don't remember ever blocking. I would never block.
No, I think what it was. See, we have this text chain of the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad where I try to, keep everybody, on the same page. Like, hey, this is what we're going to do this week, guys. Plan accordingly.
But there's
Join
30,000
us.
people on it, and it gets
and
really
CJ,
annoying.
He calls me up one day and he goes, I said, hey, did you get the plan for Saturday? He goes, no, I don't read that crap. And I'm like, what do you do? I was like, I shut that off years ago. I don't listen. I was like, well, how are you supposed to know what's going on? I just show up. And I'm like, okay.
Well, when Casey and Jerry start going nuts,
Wait, are you saying that their contributions to the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad are not worth your time?
After a while on the text chain, no.
Hey, Greg.
Really? Yes, Bubble Boy.
How about Block Johnson?
Ooh.
Wow.
That's
BJ. Is that?
Talk Johnson to BJ.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Well, it could happen.
Can't you feel the love tonight?
Oh, thank you, Jerry.
CJ just got really red. And I can see that now that I'm in the studio.
Yes. Well, see,
that's the lighting. That's not.
That's added benefit or something that we'll give you an ointment to clear up. If it rubs off on you there, Brittany. So you may need to break out the first aid kit. It just happens.
Makes no sense.
No, I'm just saying it could be contagious. That's all. The redness. But anyway, okay. So I want to talk about Brittany's, dive life. Are you willing to share on the show today, Brittany?
Sure. Yeah.
How did you become the Aqua Gypsy? That's what we're going to dive deeper in today next on the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
How, when, and where it's made has never been more important than now. Just ask all those divers and dive shops that struggled to get products and parts during the pandemic. One relatively new gear manufacturer, however, managed quite well. Nex is one of the few, if not only, dive gear manufacturers to bring regulator and design assembly back to the USA. No shortages during the pandemic for their customers and dealers. And get this, Nex was a Tester's Choice winner in Scuba Lab for 2022 and a Best Buy in 2023. Each Next regulator system is made to order, cutting down on overhead and allowing you to get exactly what you need for the kind of diving you prefer. This will be the last regulator you'll ever need, since the modular design can easily be modified as your diving skills and preferences evolve over time. Are you ready to make your next dive your best dive? Then go to nextdive.com. That's nexdive.com. Next Underwater Products. nextdive.com.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive.
I used to watch you at the Improv when I was starting out. Things you made me laugh so hard because I had just started learning to scuba dive. You did that bit about scuba diving and how the whole point of the sport is not to dive.
There's a fish, there's a rock, who cares? Don't dive.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. All right, so we got CJ in the studio along with Bubble Boy, and Brittany, the Aqua Gypsy, is with us. First time ever. And since she has the superpower of being a scuba diver, and she is the Aqua Gypsy, we figured it's probably a good time to kind of dive deeper into her origin story of her dive life. And it's kind of unique because, Brittany is one of those people, doing scuba radio for 26 years. If I'm not mistaken, I think you reached out to me before you even got your dive instructor certification. Was it even before you got certified the first time or no?
Yeah, it was way before. So I think I contacted you in 2013.
Yeah.
And this is when podcasts first started becoming a thing.
Right.
So I was looking up a scuba podcast, and obviously this Scuba Radio came up. So I thought that this was a huge production. Like, this was humongous. Like, I was going to call,
It's not.
and I was going to have to go through all these channels just to talk to Greg the Dive Master.
Yeah.
But I called, and lo and behold, you picked up on the second ring.
How about that? I'm accessible. If you want to reach out to me, I will take your call. I will answer your email if I so choose.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very reachable. We try to, maintain an open line of communication with our divers around the world. So yeah, you reached out.
Yeah.
And you said you were looking to become a dive instructor, right?
I don't think so. I don't really remember. I think I don't remember the question that I had, but I think
if I remember
talking.
correctly, it was like you were talking about becoming a dive instructor and you were looking in Mexico. Right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that was way before that. This was 2017, but in 2013, I remember calling you. I think I wanted to go on a dive trip to the Bahamas.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to know the best location, where I should go, yada, yada.
And I just totally blew you off
be
and said, why are you bothering me kind of thing? Or
No, you were great. You told me everything. You invited me to DEMA. You invited me to hang out with the crew.
Okay. See, I don't remember any of that, Brittany. I'm sorry.
He remembers nothing.
I
His brain
remember.
is like chicken soup.
No, I do remember you reaching out and saying, hey, I'm looking to become a dive instructor, and you were going to Mexico, and did I have any suggestions on which operation, or I'm looking at this one, do you know anything about these guys? What was it, Extra or something?
Yeah, XTC.
Yeah,
that
XTC, right.
Yeah, that was a couple years later. I ended up doing that, and I remember I was live on Scuba Radio after I had had my first dolphin encounter.
Right.
And I was just completely ecstatic.
Yeah. And I said, hey, yeah, why don't you go over there and do it? I've heard good things about the operation, and check in with us periodically and let us know how you are progressing through your training.
Yeah.
And I remember that. I said that'd be good for, to kind of see how you do. And here we are all these years later. At the time, we didn't know you were going to evolve into the Aqua Gypsy.
Yeah.
But you did, because she's always traveling and doing crazy stuff. And here you are the first time in the studio.
I know. I'm super excited to be here.
It's like come full circle. You've done the whole thing now. Is
I know.
it a letdown or what?
No, I can't believe this studio. I'm shocked. I mean, I've seen it on air, of course, but
right.
never in person.
So is it as a big a production as you thought
It
it
can't
was?
be that much
It
of a
is.
letdown because she's already met us in person.
Well,
that's the first.
the bar is pretty low,
big
right?
drop, and then now it's just kind of plateaued.
So
I would
true.
imagine.
Yeah. I mean, wait till the time when you get to visit Vinny Two Tanks and do the show from his home.
I've already been to
And-
Vinny's house.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So you've seen the shrine that he has sitting behind him that
Yeah.
people can see on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch.
Yeah.
Sometimes it has his mascot pumpkin.
Yes,
If
pumpkin.
you hit
Yeah.
it at the right time of year.
Uh-huh.
But when
And
you
his kitty
visited
cat.
him, he didn't have the pumpkin, did he?
He did not. No, because that was in June.
Was there
That in
any
June.
type of gourd that you came across while you were staying with him?
I didn't see any gourds. No.
What about a legume?
Just his cat, his little kitty cat.
Ah, right. Oh, Vinny and his. I'm not gonna even. Well,
Don't go there, Greg.
no,
My furry
never.
child.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. And so yeah. So you've met the crew,
Mm-hmm.
and you've dove all around the world, and you came here anyway today.
Yeah,
so we didn't scare you away.
That's a shocker.
Yeah. I mean, it's raining out. I didn't have anything else to do. So I said,
Okay.
okay, fine. I guess I'll come here.
Now she puts it
He
in
twisted
perspective.
my arm.
Right.
No, I really wanted to come. I was excited. I've never been here, and so I felt like it would be fun to hang out with
Yeah.
CJ.
So
Oh,
now
yeah.
you're a dive instructor. Are you still doing independent teaching down in Fort Lauderdale, or like half the year? Isn't that what you're doing?
Yeah. Just last weekend, I was doing. I do a lot of private stuff in other people's pools.
Yeah.
If they ask me to do that, I know it's CJ.
Well, yeah.
giving me the
Jerry does
eyes.
that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jerry does private stuff in other people's pools, but it has nothing to do with diving.
No, I just did a refresher.
2 words, Baby Ruth, and then what?
Only restraining order.
It's just
Or a restraining order.
It's just his little gift to the world, and so no, nothing,
I love
Jerry.
you too, Greg.
I've just exposed
Edit
his
that out.
His what he does in his off times of Scuba Radio, and I apologize, Jerry. I remember that was an
Jeez,
off
I love
the
you
air
too, Greg.
that was an off the air discussion. Sorry. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
But as far as diving, you do teaching independent stuff down there in South Florida, maybe even the Keys.
Yeah.
But it's all by referral, or are you open for business for anyone?
For the most part, at this point now it's turned into referrals. But in the
Yeah.
beginning, I was pretty much open to anyone. But now I'm a little more selective,
Right.
on who. I
So
want to
if it
certify.
was CJ and he needed to get a rescue diver, you'd take him.
No, I need advanced.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
for sure. We've already
all right.
discussed this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd take him, no
Of
problem.
course. Yep.
But
Just
but
a 20% increase.
yeah, well, or what about Vinny? Or
Mention
Jerry?
Scuba Radio and 25%
That's the
extra.
PIA fee.
The PIA. What does that stand for? Are we allowed to say? PIA.
Pain in the.
Oh.
So I tack on that fee anytime I really don't want to deal with someone.
What do you say to that, Block Johnson?
So, so BJ over here, I'd probably tack on about 20 to 30%.
I'm still in.
Okay. All right. The question is she? Will she tolerate it? But it sounds like you're willing to do so. Is that right, Brittany?
I love CJ, even though he did block me.
Yeah.
We've always had such a great
happened.
relationship.
I do not know how that happened.
Yeah,
He's going to have to buy me a couple rounds.
Well, exactly. There's going to have to be some social lubrication involved in order to repair this relationship, on a diving
We're
level.
good. We're all good.
Okay, you sure? There still seems to be a little tension between those two. I don't know, but, instructor, student, it could work out. More coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Did you ever take an acid? No. All right. What happens when you take acid or go scuba diving is the same thing. If you take acid or go scuba diving, you come back. But you're a little different.
I'm a deep sea diver. Got a stroke and I can't go wrong.
I don't know if you got a stroke. That doesn't sound like a positive thing. If you have a stroke when you're a deep sea diver. I mean, maybe the stroke, your swim stroke, maybe is what he's singing about.
There you go.
Okay, we'll go with that. I am Greg the Dive Master. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. And we like to keep things positive, even though, CJ and Brittany, they've had an incident.
This is completely manufactured by you.
Well, no, you blocked her.
You're creating drama.
We didn't do that.
I did not.
CJ blocked her from the email chain or the text chain of Scuba Radio Scuba
She's
Squad.
Still on that.
The funny thing is,
you fixed it.
I rarely even message in there. I don't really respond to anyone.
Right.
So,
well, it wouldn't matter because CJ would never get it anyway.
Right.
Because he had blocked you.
No,
we found that out. But no, we're here, almost in therapy, trying to bring this buddy pair back together. And I think you guys have been bonding over our past dive adventures. You were talking about Grenada.
We've had some awesome dives.
We've had great dives.
Well, you brought up the fact very conveniently that you pretty much saved the Aqua Gypsy's life.
I don't see it that way.
Well, no, I'd say that was a great save, both in the current day scenario of trying to mend this relationship.
Turns out she didn't need me, so we're all good.
Well, no, she did.
I needed your moral support. That's how you saved me, was with your moral support.
Well, yeah. So basically what happened, you're in Grenada, you guys are on a dive together, and you ran out of air, or someone kicked your rag out of your mouth. What happened, Brittany?
So we were on this lionfish dive, and we were buddy diving together. This guy put his head underneath this rock, and he was trying to kill this lionfish, so he accidentally elbowed me in the face, and he kind of like knocked my regulator out, but I still had the mouthpiece in.
Yeah.
So I took a breath of air, and of course I got water. So I'm like, oh, what? It took me a second to realize what happened, because then I looked up and there's my regulator just floating.
Oh, that's not good.
And then everything else was floating, and we were on this ripping drift dive. So I grabbed all the pieces really quickly, and it was so funny because immediately out of nowhere, CJ just grabbed, Superman. He grabbed my
Batman.
BCD and took his octo and just had his octo like right there. Like, I got you. And I'm like, no, I'm good, man.
There you go.
I'm good.
Cock Johnson is his name, and saving your life is his game.
Yeah. So
I just remember turning around and seeing her like having an issue with her reg and going, what the hell?
And you performed accordingly, and you saved her life.
No, she didn't need me. She was good.
What do you mean she didn't need you? She did need you.
She just popped her octo in and she was good to go.
Yeah, I put all the pieces back together. And he was just sitting there like,
I was like, what the hell happened? I didn't see the guy knock it away. I turned just in time to see all this stuff floating.
So if you would have seen what happened, would you went after him and
I would have beat
sliced
his ass.
his Achilles heel with your dive knife? And
I'll wait till we get up topside.
Oh, okay.
Speared him.
Right. You don't want the sharks to get them. That'd
No.
create a problem. Yeah. Okay. All right.
We didn't want that much blood in the water.
Yes.
That was a ripping current, though.
Yeah.
was.
Well, see, now you guys have bonded over that past experience, and I think the relationship has been amended, is back to normal.
Yeah. Well, the last time we talked about it, we were on the Carousel Bar in New Orleans, actually.
Oh.
So.
That's right. I
That's
barely
what we-
remember
I was
that.
going to say, I don't even remember being there.
You
But
were there.
I was
Yo,
there
you were
too.
there.
At the Dima show. Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. In New Orleans. Okay, it's coming back. In
Walt
waves.
was there, too.
Right.
Walt was there. Was
Good
Walt there?
times.
Was Walt there or was
Yeah.
Julio there?
Oh, it might have been Mr. Gomez.
Yeah,
It was
Mr.
Gomez or
may have been
Julio.
there.
It wasn't Walt.
Yeah.
True. I think it was Gomez. I don't think Julio had.
I don't
had
think
popped
Julio
out there
showed
at
up.
that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Walt's doing okay. He's on the mend and doing well. So we send him
Good.
our best. But yeah, so I mean, reflecting on those dive adventures is always fun. That's what you do, right? When you come across your friends and you start sharing those stories about all your past experiences and how you can make the best of the new ones, right?
Yeah.
So we got to
had a
get
lot of fun.
CJ get him another level of certification.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and I'm not actively teaching anymore, so
Thank God.
and God knows I don't want the
know.
responsibility.
I'm going to have to correct all of his past instructors.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, he did save your life though, so I'll take full credit. You're welcome. Right, Brittany? That's just good training.
Yeah.
What does that say
You know
about
what?
his
You know what's
instructor?
Funny? When we were talking about it, he didn't even remember that he grabbed my BCD and that he just had his regulator right out for me.
No, I just remember being impressed that she just seemed to handle it, and that was all good.
Well,
I don't
that's-
remember doing that other stuff.
That's because she's very comfortable in the water.
Yeah.
She's
But clearly, so is CJ now, so it's good.
pretty much so. But CJ is good at sharing that with the world. We did this earlier where he did a meditation tape. Brittany,
Oh,
did you
did
not?
you?
You weren't here for that, were you?
I wasn't here. I was
Well,
driving here.
This is the kind of stuff you can pay it forward, and this is how he does. So maybe you'll learn a thing or
All
two.
Scuba Radio listeners within the sound of my voice, relax, get comfortable, and take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel your mind and body at peace. Some of you may have had an issue while diving. Today we're going to overcome evacuation anxiety, the inability to relieve yourself in your wetsuit during a dive. For men, we call it uptight ween. Ladies, just don't. That's gross. Focus your mind's eye on a gentle babbling brook, a clear rushing mountain stream, or a fire hydrant unleashing a powerful torrent of thousands and thousands of gallons per minute. Enough water to fill the Grand Canyon and take the paint on your grandma's El Camino right down to bare sheet metal. Do you see it? Good. Now smell it. Wait, no, don't smell it. Now succumb to the sweet release of emptying your bladder. Feeling the warm, golden flow of satisfying relief. There, now you should feel empty and relaxed. You may open your eyes. And clean up the mess. I should have mentioned not to sit on the couch. If you did, I hope it's at the very least Scotch guarded. And be sure to fully rinse your wetsuit after every dive. Thanks.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, Brittany, when you sat down, you were using Bubble Boy's chair. It was a little,
Yeah, I was wondering why.
It's a bit
It was
squishy.
it was a little warm. It was a little wet.
Well, now you know why.
But you know what, Greg? There are two people in this world.
Yep.
There are people that pee in their wetsuit, and
Right.
there are people that lie about it.
Which one are you?
Oh, I pee in my wetsuit.
Okay.
for
Oh,
sure.
that's gross. So you're not a liar.
100%. No, yeah.
That's disgusting.
I'm not a liar.
See, Jerry the Diver guy's a liar.
100%.
Yeah, because he says he
Is
doesn't.
he
do
here?
that.
I can't see him.
Well, that's bonus. But
can't hear him either.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, he's right there.
And no, I do not.
Ghost
pee in my
Jerry.
wetsuit.
Ghost Jerry, right?
Jerry, if you're here, speak to us. What's going on?
Speak to us, oh toothless one.
Vinny, if you're here, unmute your mic.
No, I mean,
I'm here.
Yeah,
Oh, hey.
Jerry says he never does that. He never pees in his wetsuit.
And I've told you why.
Then he's the liar. He falls into the
Right.
liar
Well,
character.
Vinny,
why I
do you
called
pee in
him
your
out.
wetsuit? What about you, Vinny?
Of course.
Okay.
As
See?
much as possible.
Yeah. He's
honest.
It sounds like.
Yep. See,
Yeah.
honest guy. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Right.
That's
So-
why all the ladies like Vinny, because he's so honest.
Oh, I was going to say.
Boy,
Is that what you got to do?
All right. Well, I don't
That's
know.
what they say. If you can fake sincerity, you got it made.
Mm-hmm. Maybe so. But I don't know, Brittany, what do you think? In a dry suit, P-valve or no P-valve?
Ooh, P-valve.
P-valve.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that goes with that same train of thought. More coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Dad, what are you doing in there?
I look these fish right in the eye, and they look back at me, and they see right through me. They know who I am, these fish.
Come on, baby, and do the fish. I'm gonna teach it to you right. Come on, baby, just like this. We're gonna do our fish tonight.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to fish and diving. They kind of go hand in hand a lot of times. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ in the studio with me. Bubble Boy, also the Aqua Gypsy Brittany, has graced us with her presence today, and we've been honored to have her along for the ride. It'll probably be the first and last time she's ever in the same space with us as we do the show, but hopefully she'll at least appear every now and then.
She's still here, and I'm kind of surprised.
I am
Run
too.
her off
I
after
think
that
she-
first segment.
I think she's lost track of time. That's my. That would be the logical way to look at this. But Brittany does. She doesn't shy away from cold water diving. I mean, and you already have a dry suit. Is that right, or do you?
Yes. Yeah, I already have a dry suit.
And it has a P valve in it.
No.
Oh,
It does not have a P
okay.
valve.
I hear it's much more technically problematic for ladies to have a.
I think that this is true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the issues at hand because I can't quite relate,
Yeah.
but you can imagine that it is an issue. Now, CJ brought up earlier, like, why don't you just wear a diaper? Well, they actually do that, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's a real thing. He thought it was joking.
But these are for cave divers. I mean, if you can't hold your bladder for a 47-minute dive, then
Yeah,
you know.
you're in bad shape.
Yeah. Need to go to the doctor.
Right, Jerry. No.
Oh, man.
Me?
No.
Me.
Barry's
I
not
don't-
here. We got to pick on somebody.
Okay, Barry. That's who I meant. Barry.
Barry.
Yes, Barry.
Damn it.
Barry, the bladder problem guy. Anyway, yeah. I mean, it's an issue, I guess, that you have to address, or you just don't, you don't dive that long. I mean, so how many dry suit dives have you done?
Not that many.
Yeah.
Really, for me they've just been training dives.
Ah, okay.
So I just did them in a lake.
Gotcha.
Just trying to get comfortable.
Lake Titicaca?
No.
Titicaca.
And that's actually, I've done that too. I was up in Hague Quarry, up in Chicagoland, and I did a dry suit experience. And I was so hot, gearing up with all this stuff. Because it was midsummer. It was like an August day in Chicago, around Hague Quarry there, and man, I was sweating like a pig. And I finally got all geared up. I was like, it took forever. It felt like, and then it got in the water, froze my ass off.
Yeah, exactly.
Even with a dry suit, because you get down there in the lake under that thermocline at like 30 feet, and all of a sudden the temperature drops like 20 degrees.
20 degrees.
Yeah, it
It's
did.
like 6. Greg, come on. I dive this. I know these things.
Greg does exaggerate.
No, it did. It had a big drop.
Yes, it's a significant drop, but
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard, but that's why when I certify my students up north, I always tell them, look, this is not what diving is. Diving is
This is the hard part.
Yeah, diving is 80-80-80.
Right. That's what we prefer. But, sometimes it's worth it. Like, it might be in the Galapagos.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes there's places and activities for cold water that really, kind of the carrot's there. I mean, we were talking about last week about diving an ice hole. Have you ever done that?
An ice hole?
Yeah. How do you
Or
feel
an
about diving
asshole?
ice? I said ice.
Oh, ice. Sorry. Sorry.
Brittany.
Greg's used to be called the
First
other
and
thing.
last visit.
So diving an ice hole. No,
Yeah.
I've never dove an ice hole.
Yeah, that's what they do. They cut a hole in the
yeah.
ice. They had the 7th annual Ice Hole Challenge at some lake in Iowa last weekend. You didn't hear about that.
No, I didn't. No.
She doesn't listen.
No.
Yeah.
But I
No.
wouldn't mind the tectonic plates that are up in Iceland. I think that would be pretty fun.
Okay,
That's cool.
that's a heck of an ice hole right there.
That's a big
That's
gap.
a big one. That's
Big
more of a
old
crack. That is. That's
Yeah.
more like diving a crack.
Yes.
Yeah. Similar, but different.
Greg, book a flight to Reykjavik.
I'm actually going.
Say it.
I
Pronounce
am
it, Greg.
going
Say
in,
it.
He's going. Are you going to dive?
Oh, really?
I am going to Iceland in June.
What
yeah.
city,
Are we
Greg?
diving? Are you diving?
Oh hell no! I'm not taking any of you losers.
Come
You don't have to take anything with you.
Why?
I know people that have done it, and they went up there and they rented all the gear right there. It was
Yeah.
all.
No, that's why it's on the agenda if I want to do
Isn't that
it.
where you can?
Ooh.
Yeah. What?
Isn't that where
Vinny?
you dive that area where it's split between two continents?
That's
No,
correct.
that makes
That
no
would-
sense at
that
all.
where it is?
That's not what we're talking about.
Yes, it is.
That's
No, it
exactly
is.
what we're talking
It is.
about.
No, you're
the
right,
tectonic
Vinny.
plates.
Vinny got
Yeah.
it right.
Didn't Scuba Cowboy do that?
He
I think
did.
Scuba
He
Cowboy
did.
did that.
I think
Vinny and,
Dr. Doug did that too.
Oh, did he?
I'm
Okay.
sure he did. Yeah, but Scuba Cowboy and Mermaid Tiffany did
Yeah,
it back
Tiff
in the
did.
day, and they raved about it. The water is
That should be
very
a Scuba Radio trip someday.
well. Like I said, I'm going in June, and you guys aren't allowed to come. So, I'm just
Suck it,
going.
losers.
Right. I'm just going to be able to come
Suck
back
it,
and say,
losers, yeah.
you guys.
But then you have to do it so we can live vicariously.
Yeah, but I don't have to bring anything. They do rent like dry suit.
You better
setups.
do it. You better
And you
not
go-
wuss
Yeah.
out.
Well, no, all's
You better not
they
take a
do.
nap.
When
All-
else are you going to be there?
All you do is you dress up in a dry suit and you really snorkel over it. You could, I guess, dive too, but I know the options that have been presented to me is like a snorkel adventure because the water's so clear. You can look right down it, snorkel above the crack, and do that kind of thing.
Greg, when was the last time you snorkeled above a crack?
That sounds like another Saturday night. Vinny's been there. Have you been there, done that maybe? But yeah, it just depends on
No,
the
I
weekend.
just thought it was funny.
Oh, okay.
The continental divide.
I don't see the humor in that. It's more of an observation from my perspective. But regardless, yeah. I mean, I have that on the list. But I think, going and diving through one of these holes in a lake in the dead of winter, is hard to kind of get past. But getting under there and you see the videos of the people, standing upside down under the ice. I mean, that looks pretty cool. Wouldn't you agree, Brittany? You've seen those.
For sure. But
And-
it's kind of difficult to do it if it's not in the dead of winter, right?
Well, true.
know?
I mean, you have to get over that
Yeah.
element, which can be a little.
Do it to say you did it.
Yeah, it could be like a bucket list dive kind of thing, and I'd put it in that category. So, you have that. You have places like the Galapagos, which could be kind of cold. And I've talked about, doing the dry suit thing as well for that. But you already have a dry suit. You're good to go.
I do.
You
Yep.
just, what brand do you have?
I think it's called Life Proof.
Okay.
So
Anything? Is it one of those laminate type things, or is it a neoprene type of dry suit, or what?
Yeah, it's a laminate one. It's supposed to be very, very good in places like the Galapagos where it's kind of tropical.
Yeah.
But yet the water's cold, right?
Right.
So I think you have like a couple different varieties where you have some where if it's cold outside, like if you're in the Antarctic and you're diving, it's a completely different one that you're going to be using than if
Right.
you were just diving
You
in
need
a warm
more
location.
dry
with cold water.
insulation.
Right.
And
exactly.
and the laminate skins kind of are a little bit more versatile in that sense.
Right.
You may not need to wear as much underneath depending on the air temp, I
That's
guess, right? Right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, then that's probably the route I'll go to.
Mhm.
But you'd go that route. Say like the water temp is, let's say 65.
Mhm.
Heated rash guard or dry suit?
Dry suit.
Definitely?
Yeah,
You wouldn't even
I'm
consider the
nervous.
heated rash guard thing.
I'm nervous about catching on fire.
Oh, there's that.
That'd be bad.
And the whole
Stop this-
branding thing, turning it
Yeah.
up to warm and yeah.
It's hard to stop, drop, and roll underwater.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think the fire's that much of a problem. The branding is a thing. I mean, that's what happened to Mermaid Tiffany actually out in California.
Mhm.
She turned it up a little bit too high and came back with a temporary tattoo.
Like a Pop-Tart.
Like
Yeah.
a Whopper.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll figure it out and plan accordingly because we got a trip to the Galapagos in consideration coming up. So we're going to end on that. Till next time, remember, it's always better where, gang?
Down where it's wetter.
Safe diving, everyone.
Captain Ron to Jock Gusto. They all love Scuba Radio. On the boat or down below if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters?
Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, you know what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.